This is the science and cell signaling behind type 1 diabetes. It all begins with two hormones called insulin and glucagon, which are secreted by beta and alpha cells in the pancreas. Insulin instructs your body on how and when to convert glucose from your bloodstream. Glucagon, however, counters the effects of insulin by instructing the body when to create or release glucose back into your bloodstream. When your blood sugar levels get too high, like right after a meal, insulin signals to your body cells that it's time to convert or absorb some of that glucose to get it out of your bloodstream. But when your blood sugar gets too low, like during exercise, glucagon is secreted and then signals to your liver that it's time to release some of its stored glucose back into the blood. Insulin and glucagon work opposite of each other to help maintain your blood sugar at a healthy level. A very important protein called GLUT4 is in charge of transporting the glucose into the fat and muscle cells, and this is where the cell signaling process plays an important role. When it's time to signal the body cells, the insulin hormone acts as a ligand and activates the insulin receptor on the membrane of the cell. This signal is transduced and amplified throughout the cell until it reaches the GLUT4 proteins in the interior of the cell. GLUT4 then travels from the interior to the membrane, where it will facilitate the entry of glucose molecules into the fat or muscle cells. Type 1 diabetes is an example of a condition that can occur if one step of this process doesn't happen the way it should. Sometimes, a person's immune system can attack and destroy the beta cells in the pancreas, which are responsible for creating insulin. If insulin is not being secreted, the fat and muscle cells are not receiving the insulin signal to activate the signaling pathway. When there are no instructions for what to do with the glucose, it can accumulate to toxic levels in the bloodstream. One symptom of diabetes is dehydration. Since the lack of insulin in the body disrupts the signal pathway, excess glucose is never removed from the bloodstream and ends up in the kidneys. When the glucose amount is higher than what the kidneys can absorb, it will leave the body through urine and take more water with it as well. Another symptom of type 1 diabetes is weight loss. Since the body cells are not receiving the signal that tells them to take in glucose and use it as an energy source, fat becomes the main energy source of the cell instead. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you learned a bit about cell signaling and what role it plays in diabetes. See you next time!